guys, back to another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We are back again with another video. We've got lots of pieces of news, so let's get straight into it. First of all, we've got the big piece of news that was yesterday, but I'm now talking about today, is about Lucas Torreira, as apparently Arsenal have agreed a £22 million bid from Torino to sell Lucas Torreira. Transfer deal with Torino, with midfielder going on loan before a permanent move. Now, this report is suggesting that it's going to be a 2-year loan, then a permanent move, but some other reports are suggesting it's going to be up front. I'm going to stick with the fact that it is going to be up front because Fiorentina proposed a similar thing where they were going to loan him with an obligation to buy, but I do think this one is going to be up front, and Arsenal have reportedly agreed a deal with Torino over Lucas Torreira that will see the midfielder head to Italy initially on a loan. We'll stick with this report for now as part of a £22 million deal. Torino initially paid £11 million for Torreira, and the other half being paid at the end of the season and making the deal permanent. This will see Arsenal recoup the majority of the £25.7 million that they paid for the Uruguayan from Sampdoria in 2018. There are a few minor details that need to be ironed out before the 24-year-old can complete the move to the Serie A side. The move that reported initially by Calcio Mercato will see Torreira reunited with former boss Marco Gampiolo, who managed him at Sampdoria. He initially impressed in North London, playing an important role in Unai Emery's side as they reached the Europa League final in 2019, but since Mikel Arteta's appointment at the club, he has struggled for playing opportunities. In his last season at the club, he made just 17 starts at the Emirates. Arteta made it clear that Torreira wasn't part of his future plans and was so close to sealing a deal with Fiorentina just a few weeks ago. The money from Torreira's departure will raise the funds needed for Arteta to make some new signs for the current season. I will talk about that in a second. Obviously, Partey and Aouar being linked as well. So now, going back to what I just said a few seconds ago about how this money will be used. Now, obviously, Fabrizio Romano, we talked about what he said yesterday about Arsenal will sell Torreira and then they will go in for either Aouar or Partey. This means, according to my understanding, what I'm putting together, if this is not true, don't come back and, come back to this and slaughter me or anything. But I do believe a bid for Aouar will be put in this week that could be accepted. Now, again, I'm not going to put this in the title or the thumbnail or anything, but I do think a bid will go in this week, and I do think it will be accepted because it looks like we are going to sell Torreira this week, and Fabrizio is saying that we will use that money to go after Aouar, who is our number one target. Obviously, Thomas Partey is still on the list, but as I talked about yesterday, it's looking more and more unlikely that we won't get Partey just because of the fact that we have to pay that £43 million up front. But with Aouar, it's going to be a structured payment over the years of his contract if he joins Arsenal. So I do think Aouar is going to be more likely. But going back to Lucas Torreira again, I've said many times about him, I do think we need to let him go. Again, getting 24 million euros, around close to the 26-7 million euros we got him for. I think he has served well for this club, but I just don't think he fits into Mikel Arteta's plans. And I think it's the best reason letting him go. He doesn't fit into the plans. And I do think he'll be, Italy is a good league for him. I do think, it's like his second home. Obviously, he's from Uruguay, but Italy is like where he wants to be. It's like his home, and I think Italy is where Torreira's heart's been. And it seems like ever since he's joined Arsenal, he's looked homesick. And obviously, Unai Emery falling out with him, obviously playing number 10, it's not been very good for him in that sort of time. He felt very homesick then. His agent was coming out saying that his future needed to be resorted quite quickly. And then Mikel Arteta came in. He played him at the start, and then obviously he got injured against Portsmouth. And then ever since, it's just been a downhill fighting battle for Lucas Torreira. And again, I do feel bad for him. He is a youngster that's come through Italy, and it's very hard for young players from Italy especially to adapt into the Premier League. Obviously, you've seen that with the likes of Moise Kean, and I do think it is going to be the end of the road for Lucas Torreira. I wish him all the best, and hopefully he does well at Torino, but we do need to move on as a club, and hopefully Aouar is next and incoming. Next bit of news is on Sead Kolasinac, as apparently David Ornstein is reporting that he could be moving to West Ham. Obviously, he was being linked with Schalke, and now West Ham are in the race. I do think West Ham is going to be a good club for Kolasinac, but I do think we need to let him go. Like other players, we need to let a lot of our players go. Obviously, we've just talked about Torreira leaving. Martinez has left, Sam Greenwood has left, even though I didn't want Sam Greenwood to leave, but it's an easy deal to do, so I'm not really going to count Greenwood. But I'm just saying, we've only let go of 2 players. I'm not going to include Mkhitaryan. He was not here last season, so you don't really include that player, but I do think we need to let go of Kolasinac. But another report is suggesting that apparently he doesn't want to leave, as he said he's willing to fight for his place behind Kieran Tierney. And Arsenal star Sead Kolasinac has given West Ham a blow amid their hopes of a transfer for their fullback, having enjoyed successful talks with Mikel Arteta. This is some reports claiming this, some other reports like David Ornstein are claiming that he does want to move to West Ham, so it's a 50-50 for me right now. And Arsenal obviously enjoyed a winning start to their Premier League League campaign, seeing off newly promoted Fulham 3-0. He didn't play Kolasinac in that game, and Gabriel Magalhaes, obviously the new centre-back, scored his first goal. A new forward, Willian, grabbed 2 assists. One star who really enjoyed a strong game was Tierney after his second season with the club, after some tough issues before COVID-19. Obviously Tierney has been a regular in Arteta's side and has kept Kolasinac out of the starting 11. Obviously at one point Tierney was playing left wing back and Kolasinac was playing in a back three. Obviously that didn't work, so Tierney had to go into a back three and Ainsley Maitland-Niles was put out into the left wing back role. That has since worked and Kolasinac hasn't really played, and Schalke have inquired about the player, and now West Ham have inquired about the player, but apparently Arteta wants to keep Kolasinac. Again, he did make that big mistake against Spurs, but I just don't think he's been that good. I don't think he's Arsenal quality player, and I don't think we need to be keeping someone like him. I think even Arteta said himself there's a lot of imbalance in the squad. We read out the direct quotations yesterday. If you remember yesterday's episode, we did talk about Mikel Arteta saying there's a lot of imbalance in the squad and he wants to try and get rid of players. That's why he said he's active in the market, and I do think getting rid of Kolasinac is one of the first steps to be able to do that, and I do think he needs to be leaving. Again, do we need to replace him? Because we got Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he can play in that position, especially if we're going to be going this season with a back three. I'm not sure what Arteta wants at the moment. I did think we were going to play a 3, but maybe if we do get a all party or maybe even both, then we can go to a 3, but at the moment it looks like we are going to play 3 at the back, which means I don't think Kolasinac will be fitting in, because Ainsley Maitland-Niles can cover on the left wing back row if anything happens, and we are already stocked up so much in the centre back areas as we haven't let anyone go yet. Obviously Socrates looks like he's going to be leaving, but there isn't any clarification, as links with Napoli and other clubs around there have gone really quiet, but obviously that will be dependent on the future of Kalidou Koulibaly. Obviously Man City moving very slow on that, especially with their relation with Napoli not being very good, so it does look like that Socrates will go to Napoli if Kalidou Koulibaly leaves. But very interesting to see what happens with that. But that is the news that Kolasinac wants to go to West Ham. Not he wants to, but West Ham are being linked with them. They want to sign him, but Kolasinac reportedly doesn't want to go. Next bit of news is on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, obviously, we thought that maybe his announcement would be coming last Friday. Obviously, I do know, guys, I can tell you this deal is done. He'll be signing a £375,000 week deal with Arsenal, a 4-year deal. I will put this one in the title because I do think this needs to be shown, so people do look at this and read this and listen to this, as I do think that Aubameyang will sign this week. It will be done this week. It should be announced this week. Also, apparently, photographers and Aubameyang's Lamborghini were both pictured. They were both outside the Emirates, probably for a photo shoot, which suggests that this deal is very close to being announced and hopefully can be announced soon. Aubameyang is a huge part of Arsenal's squad, and obviously announcement video has been waiting for so many weeks, and as soon as Aubameyang's deal done, we will be signing him. Obviously, last few weeks, especially like last Thursday, I'm pretty sure it was, there were a lot of reports doing the rounds that Aubameyang is very close, but a few weeks ago reports were saying that it's very close. But we're very interesting to see what happens with that situation with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. But I do think, again, come on, just get it done. When is the announcement? I don't know why it's taking so long. Obviously, Ian Wright did also talk with his dad and he begged him to join. I can't really tell you what the reply was to that. You'll have to find out yourself on the video. Try to keep a bit of suspense on the channel, but again, it's so like, oh my god, when is this going to be announced? Because he's such a top player for the club. I don't see the delay at the moment. What is going on? Like, I thought they would announce it on Friday just before the Fulham game for good PR, but again, they've not done that. Maybe there's a hold up, maybe the photo shoot. Hopefully they actually have a good announcement video, and the Gabriel announcement is pretty good, so maybe they'll make this one even better. Obviously, this is going to be our signing of the summer if we get this Aubameyang deal done. So that is the news, that an announcement is imminent, as a club photographer and Aubameyang's Lamborghini were outside the Emirates today to try and get an announcement video sorted, and hopefully this can be done in the next few days. Another bit of news is that we have been linked with another player. Now, this player's name is Marcos Polo. Apparently, Mikel Arteta's Portuguese contingent at the Emirates Stadium could be set to go even further with the potential addition of Fluminense forward Marcos Paulo. The 19-year-old is currently a regular for the Brazilian Serie A side, having been broke through the ranks last year. HITC report there's interest from Arsenal as well as Leeds United and West Ham United too, which would make the deal more difficult to complete. Now, he has a €40 million release clause. Again, I have no clue how good this player is, so if you guys know a lot of information about him, leave it in the comment section down below. But again, I don't know anything about this player, to be honest. Just gonna have a quick look at transfer market. He is a centre forward. His obviously he is 19 years old. He's from Portugal, and his contract is actually up next year, so I think we could get him on a cut price free. He can also play on the right wing and left wing. His market value is 8.10 mil, so I think we could get him in for around 15 million pounds. I don't think we'll be paying that release clause, but if that is another player we'll be linked with. Not going to talk too much about him because I don't know too much about him, but to be honest, I'd rather have someone like Odson Edouard. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. About next bits of news is, like, you know, obviously last few days we have been doing this segment where we're doing like other random stuff around the Arsenal transfer news. Not necessarily true, but again, stuff that, you know, we could just talk about randomly. And the one is of Oscar. Now apparently David Luiz and Willian invited him to Arsenal. Oscar is a player that's been playing in the Chinese Super League after 4 years at Chelsea. Obviously, he's quite good at Chelsea, but, you know, obviously money talks, and he went to China, and now he's playing a trade at China. And apparently, David Luiz and Willian, oh my God, how do I believe this? Like, who makes these stories? Come on, where do these stories actually come from? And apparently Oscar has been invited to come to Arsenal. Whether Arsenal will actually make some sort of offer for him is another thing, but let's just read this report out for you guys. As apparently ex-Chelsea midfielder Oscar reveals David Luiz and Willian have asked him to join Chelsea. Oscar revealed that David Luiz and Arsenal former Chelsea teammates encouraged him to join Arsenal. The Brazilian midfielder won 2 Premier League titles as well as the Europa League during his 4.5-year stint at Stamford Bridge. He earns £400,000 a week, and he is keen on a return to the Premier League. Now 29 years old actually, and he says that he would welcome to have a chance at a second stint at Chelsea, but claims Willian and David Luiz have been urging him to make the move to the Gunners. He said that they called me to call me because we have good communication. They said come to Arsenal, come here. But for me, it's a little difficult. I have a contract with Shanghai. He has another 4 years left. So to be fair, it does make sense, you know, for him to stay because, you know, he has a £400,000 weaker contract. And I don't think he'll be giving that up to come to England, especially Chelsea rivals Arsenal. So it looks very unlikely. So that's our little random news segment for the day. What do you guys think of that Oscar news? Would you bring him back, you know, as a number 10? You know, we have been struggling in that area. You know, it looks like Aouar could be coming in, but who knows? Maybe we'll go after Partey. I don't know, to be honest. With that one, it's getting so uncertain which one we'll go after. But I do think it'll be Aouar, as I've just said many times. But again, would you bring Oscar back to the Premier League to Arsenal? Chelsea's rivals, obviously. And leave your thoughts about that in the comment section down below. And that is it for today's Arsenal Transfer News Daily. If you have enjoyed, please hit the subscribe button. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.